I looked up at the window where that old study used to be, and I swear I saw a woman's face. Hey, I'm Meredith. This is Rattled and Shook, and I'm going to tell you a true creepy story. This all took place in my uncle's home, which was built in the early 1700s in Newport, Rhode Island. It was a former mansion that was turned into apartments, so the layout was super weird, and everything in the house was basically tilting. We were visiting him at the time. I'm an only child, and I was constantly subjected to the air mattress when we would go on vacation as a family. The air mattress this time was set up in his really cool yet very spooky study. He collects vintage pieces from all over the world, so when he made up my makeshift room, he took this huge vintage bongo drum and set it next to my bed as a sort of side table. My parents took my uncle's room. I was in the study, and my uncle slept in the guest/third apartment, which was vacant at the time and on the third floor. While getting ready for bed, I took off my brand new pearl earrings and set them on this bongo. Of course, with the whole house leaning, one of the pearls immediately rolled off the bongo onto the old wooden floor and straight down into an ancient air vent and into the great abyss. I was very upset. I was 13 with raging hormones and a healthy fear of my parents, so I decided I would just fess up in the morning. But again, I'm sure I let out a "damn it" before clasping my hands to my mouth, so someone probably heard me. I took the mate of the lost earring and put it in my toiletry bag for safekeeping. I hopped on my already deflating air mattress and I just tried to go to bed. Again, the setup of this house was super strange. It was once a single-family home cut up into 3 apartments, so to get from the master bedroom to the bathroom, you had to travel through the study, a living room, and then the dining room, all to get to the bathroom. While I was sleeping, I heard some creaking. I was like, okay, it's my dad making a nighttime bathroom trip. I feel him walk by me and then lean over, give me a rub on the shoulder and say, "It's all going to be okay." I fell back asleep, and that was that. In the morning, eyes still closed, I was fortifying myself in preparation of telling everyone in the kitchen that I had already lost one of my brand new freshwater pearls. Then, as I turned over and looked to my side table, aka my large bongo drum, I gasped because there was my pearl earring dead center on that drum. At first I thought, oh, maybe I dreamt that I put the other pearl in my cosmetic bag. So I walked over and checked. Nope. I now had both earrings in the palm of my hand. So I just smiled and joined my family in the kitchen. I said, "Hey, Dad, I appreciate you finding my earring, but you didn't have to wake me up." He looked at me confused. In fact, everyone looked at me confused. I then remembered that I hadn't actually told everyone that I was even missing an earring. But before I could, my dad said, "Funny, last night was the first night in probably years I didn't get up to use the bathroom." Wait, what? Nervously, I explained my earring story. My uncle was straight-faced the whole time. And after the story, he simply said, "Yep, that was Sarah." He went on to admit that there was at least one ghost in the house, and that she helped him with little things like that all the time. It began a few years ago when he started noticing random pieces of sea glass in patterns on the floor. It soon turned into missing things reappearing, doors gently closing, etc., etc. One day he just got the overwhelming sense that it was a female named Sarah, and then he started seeing her, or at least whispers of her. We were all shocked. My uncle is hilarious, but overall he's very much a practical man. He was serious about this. He said that she made him feel less lonely. He was a chronic bachelor. And she also made him feel safe. He lived in that house for another 7 years until a family bought the property and restored it to a single-family home. I always believed my uncle, but I never really researched it or anything right after that. Fast forward to another visit. I was now in college. We were walking past the old house on our way to his new apartment down Prospect Hill. We all reminisced about the old apartment and Sarah, and at that very moment, I looked up at the window where that old study used to be, and I swear, I saw a woman's face. It wasn't the new owner's faces either. It couldn't have been. The home was still very much under construction at the time, and it was close to like 11 p.m., around the time that I lost my earring, some 6+ years before. After getting back to college after that fall break trip to Newport, I did some digging. The house was a historic one. It had a special plaque and everything, so I was able to find property records quite easily. After like an hour of skimming, it brought me to a property document with a familiar name. Sarah. A woman named Sarah had lived in that very house, which I learned was the original sailmaker's house when Newport was founded. I stopped digging after that. I knew that that was the nice ghost that had helped my uncle and me. I didn't need any more confirmation after that. Ever since, I've been a believer. My uncle's lived in a few other haunted properties in Newport since. It's inevitable in a town so old and full of history, kind of like New Orleans or Charleston. None of these new ghosts have ever been as kind as Sarah, though. Some, he's explained, have given off very bad vibes. One in the Clement Clark Moore house was especially malicious. I like to think that Sarah loved my uncle for how well he kept up her old house and how nice he was to others. He loved living there, and he would just fix things around the property just for fun. I'm happy that it's been returned to its former glory by the new owners. And I'd like to think that Sarah's been good to them too.